Cuts coming in, but nothing major as of yet. No big surprises as of yet. It's a Monday. Locked On Lions.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Dery with you. It's a new week. It is a Locked On Lions on a Monday, August 28th, and a Tuesday, August 29th on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team indeed every day. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel, where we now are over 7,100 subscribers and climbing. Thanks for checking us out. And subscribe, please, and watch us for free on Locked On Lions. Our everydayers are out there. Shout out to the great Drew Nickel. Drew's son Connor has this awesome charity, Connor's Mission. This is like a kid. He's like 9-10 years old. And they had an event yesterday. I was not feeling well and could not be there. But Drew, Diana, the whole Nickel crowd is awesome. Drew's going to be there for Lions Chiefs in Kansas City. So a shout out to him. Follow us on Twitter at Dery Speaks, at Locked On Lions on Twitter, the Matt Dery Facebook fan page, and also on Threads at The Real Matt Dery. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, hard at work. Roster trimming is beginning. We'll give you the very latest coming up momentarily here on Locked On Lions. Any surprise cuts, we'll get into that. There are some quarterbacks available. If this team wants to get a third quarterback, we'll get into that as well here on the program today. Locked On Lions brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, so we were on Saturday. We did a little post-game pod from Friday. This is a weird time. It's not the usual and what we're used to when it comes to roster cuts. I think this is like the second year they've done it, but you go basically from 90 guys in your roster down to 53 by tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And so the Lions have a lot of house cleaning to do, as Dan Campbell said over the weekend. It wasn't just going to be one big giant cut. It was going to be, couple here, couple there, 8 here, 10 here. And so, as of right now, the Lions sit at about, on their current roster, like 72, 71 players is what I've counted as of right now. There are reports that there have been some cuts. There have been others that the Lions have announced. As far as some of the players that the Lions cut and made official over the weekend, Divine Ozigbo, the running back, Trinity Benson, Avery Davis, Jason Moore, Obina Eze, Darren Paulo, thank goodness, Jermaine Ifedi, a little bit of a surprise. The veteran tackle guard, gone. Bobby Hart, gone. Colby Richardson, the cornerback, out. Scotty Nelson, the pride of U of D Jesuit, out and cut. The safety. So those are ones that the Lions made official. According to reports, Christian Covington has been let go. Of course, picked up from the Chargers. Alex Millette from the Free Press. De Burkett says. Daniel Helm reportedly gone. Today, among the reported cuts, Coyote Owosika. I don't know who the Lions have other than Matt Nelson and Colby Sorsdal. As of right now, there's a lot of backup offensive linemen that the Lions are getting rid of. And quite honestly, that's not a surprise because the backup O-line did not do well during training camp in the preseason. Played a little bit better, as we talked about on Friday night in Carolina, but Ryan Swoboda reportedly gone. Free Press reporting Adrian Martinez is going to be cut. Connor Galvin let go reportedly. And then this one just came in a little while ago. Wide receiver Dylan Drummond reportedly going to be waived by the Lions. Dylan Drummond being gone and let go before Chase Cota is a little bit of a surprise, maybe to me. Also, Antoine Green is still around. So I'm not saying it's a huge surprise, but Dylan Drummond is a guy out of Eastern Michigan that I thought this would be, you would come down to like tomorrow at 3:55 with Dylan Drummond. Now the Lions are going to hope that nobody picks him up. He sneaks through the sneaks through waivers and, isn't picked up by anybody and goes on the practice squad. But Dylan Drummond, the wide receiver from Eastern Michigan, undrafted, was a great story. Spent like 5 years in college, had one tryout, the Lions, and really was spectacular in training camp. Was really, really good. Showed his size and his hands and really performed very, very well. So as of right now, with the Lions at wide receiver, St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, Marvin Jones, Antoine Green, Chase Cota, and Maurice Alexander are still there. So there are 7, at least right now. So I'm a little bit surprised that Dylan Drummond was the first from that group let go. Not surprised at Trinity Benson, not surprised at Jason Moore. We didn't even see Jason Moore on Friday, who they picked up from the Chargers, but interesting. I don't see Maurice Alexander making it. I think there's a chance Chase Cota makes it, but I think Antoine Green with that 70-yard touchdown the other day has a very good chance of making the team. And he was a 7th round pick, and you want to see what you got there. So the Lions have still about 18, I think I'm counting 18 or 19 more cuts to make here. And there could be trades made. Remember, a lot of offensive lineman movement has already happened. The Patriots have traded for Dotson from the Rams. The Rams got Dotson from the Steelers, but the Patriots have picked up a couple of offensive linemen. And I still see a scenario that if Julian Okwara is healthy, remember, he hurt his knee on Friday night. Dan Campbell said today, as far as Julian goes, that he's not going to practice today. But if Julian Okwara is healthy, I still see a scenario where Okwara gets traded for some sort of depth along the offensive line. But some teams have made a bunch of cuts. Some teams have not announced them yet or have made some cuts. I want to get into some quarterback talk in a second. And also a little bit of surprises and some guys whose names have not been mentioned yet. We will do that coming up next. Also, as far as quarterbacks here, Nate Sudfeld, Dan Campbell wouldn't go into specifics today on how serious Nate Sudfeld's injury was in terms of a knee injury, but said he said he was sad for Nate and that they're doing more tests. But today, Adam Schefter from ESPN reported that indeed Sudfeld has torn his ACL. So they'll put him on injured reserve and his season is done. That then begs the question, with Adrian Martinez cut, Sudfeld going to be out for the year, reportedly. What does that mean for the Lions' number 3 quarterback spot? And will they go after somebody? Got a couple of names I want to throw out there in a little while, but let me say this about Sudfeld. He did not perform well in the preseason games. We all saw it, all right? But he was a damn good teammate, great in the locker room, supported Jared Goff very well last year, and it's sad that you tear your ACL and who knows if his career is even going to be over. Will someone else take a flyer on him next year? We'll have to wait and see, but it kind of sucks that his season is over. So you feel sorry for the guy that in the final preseason game that has to go down. So that's the latest on Nate Sudfeld. All right. Any more surprises? I'm going to give you a couple more names that I'm a little bit surprised about. We'll get into some quarterback talk. And if the Lions are indeed going to be interested in number 3 quarterback, there are some names out there. We will do that. Coming up next on a Monday Locked On Lions. But first, August is here. We're getting close to September. It's the official start of fantasy football drafting month. All right. Get championship ready for your home league by trying out Best Ball on Underdog Fantasy. All you have to do is one live snake draft, no waivers, no trades. Underdog going to set your best lineup every single week. Try it out with Underdog's Best Ball Mania Tournament. The largest fantasy football contest of all time is back and even bigger with $15 million of total prizes up for grabs. And that includes an absurd $3 million going to the winner. Last year, the winner drafted their team in July, so do not wait around. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store and sign up with promo code LOCKEDON to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code LOCKEDON. Underdog, the easiest place to play fantasy football and the best place for best ball. Check them out. It's Underdog Fantasy. All right, let me say this on the Lions and these cuts. You know what's really great about this situation is the team has about 18 or 19 decisions to make, and I could be counting wrong. The Lions have tough decisions to make because they've got a roster full of better players and upgraded players. How many years? All right, I'm going to use this as a prop here. How many years has this place been a lemonade stand? All right, we're just sipping on that. Well, we were sipping on that lemonade, right? It was a lemonade stand. We were talking about keeping guys and this guy and that guy. No, there's a chance of Stephen Gilmore, a Starling Thomas get cut, and those guys are going right to another team. You're not going to be able to stash all of these players on the practice squad because the team has built depth and they've got good players. And I think that that's a testament to Brad Holmes. I do. He's done a really good job of bringing in talent. You got to have talent to win. The reason why the Lions are being picked to win the division by a lot of people, including Mark Wahlberg, who's in town today. Has anybody been to Wahlburgers, by the way? I think it's average. Anyway, Mark Wahlberg is in town, and he was interviewed and said he thinks the Lions are going to win the NFC, could win the entire NFC. There's talent on this roster. So that's a positive. That makes these decisions even more difficult because they have accrued some real depth. All right. So that is a plus. I just know that while I'm recording, somebody's getting cut. I just know it. All right. Surprise cuts. Oh, let me bring this up too. Per Ian Rappaport, Hendon Hooker, the Lions rookie quarterback, of course, is going to start the year on the NFI list, the non-football injury related list, meaning that as he comes back from his torn ACL, he would at least miss the first 4 games. I've been telling you this for months, and I will continue to say it. Hendon Hooker will not play this year. All right. The Lions will have Hendon Hooker holding the clipboard in street clothes all season. I don't see any scenario where the Lions rush him back. I just don't see it. If the team decides, well, I don't want to get to quarterbacks yet, but I think they're going to look for a third quarterback. I think they're going to add some depth along the offensive line at some point here in the next 24 hours. These backup O-linemen, I thought for sure Jermaine Ifedi, who has started games, whether it was in Chicago or other places, was going to make this team. Coyote Owosika is another guy that last year had to step in and do some spot starting, especially at right and left guard, and wasn't horrible. So as of right now, the Lions are sitting along the offensive line with Decker, Jackson, Ragnow, Vaitai, Sewell, and Glasgow. You know, those 6. Colby Sorsdal, Matt Nelson, Max Percher, and Brad Cecil. Brad Cecil was the backup center during in the preseason, and he wasn't very good. This team is going to be picking up some more backup offensive linemen with a quickness here when other teams let some of their players go. So prepare for that. There's already, like I said, there's already been some trades made. The Patriots made 2 deals. The Rams picked up Dotson. By the way, speaking of the Rams, shout out to Kelly Stafford on her podcast. Isn't this great? Isn't this great that this isn't our problem anymore? It has nothing to do with Matthew, right? Matthew is a good guy and did all he could here. But his wife's going on her podcast basically saying, yeah, Matthew's not really clicking with the young players on the team, and he's trying to talk to them and get to know them, and they're just buried in their phones. And, you know, maybe he's the old guy and just can't relate, but he's having problems being a leader with this group because it's too young of a locker room for him. Too bad the Lions don't own any more of the Rams draft picks. LA is going to suck. I think they're going to be bad. I know they got Aaron Donald. I know they got Cooper Kupp. I know they got Stafford, but that's troubling. Wouldn't you, after all these years, if you were Matthew, be like, hey, Kelly, can we tone it down a little bit on the pod? Not telling all my secrets. Oh, my goodness gracious. As of right now, Brandon Joseph and Brady Breeze are still on the team. We're not sure about Ife Melifonu's injury. And Daryl Daniels is still on the team. That was a tight end that I thought by now would be let go. But as of 5:38 right now, as I'm recording, those guys are still on the team. Those are a couple of surprises. Ifedi I thought was going to make it. Owosika I thought had a decent shot because of his experience. But again, we talked about this after these preseason games. The Lions' depth on the offensive line isn't good enough, and they're going to need to add some bodies, and they're going to. There will be more players let go from other teams that the Lions are looking at right now. So that will get done. It's a matter of when. But again, you love the depth that this team has right now, and it's starting to show with these cuts because they're having a hard time figuring out who to get rid of, which is a good problem to have. And I'm sure they're hopeful Dylan Drummond sneaks through and gets in the practice squad and all of those things. So we will have to wait and see. All right, I want to get into this quarterback thing because there's two guys out there that I think the Lions should sign, or one of the two. They're not going to sign both. And I will bring that up coming up next right here on Locked On Lions. Stressed out about buying tickets? Man, I'm going to wait till the very last minute, or maybe I just decided I do want to go to a game. You hop on all these other apps and you're not sure where the tickets are in terms of the seating. Not Gametime. Gametime is tremendous. They've got the lowest price guarantee, but they've got those image of the seat views. So am I in a corner where I'm going to be kind of obstructed a little bit? Am I going to have the overhang? Am I on this side, that side? Am I on the same side as the sideline? Gametime is the fast and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. Killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you'll have. They got flash deals and last-minute tickets. They got easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. They got the seat view images, which I like. And the deals are right there. The Gametime guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less somewhere else, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. How about that? Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps on your phone, and you're set with Gametime. Snag the tickets without the stress with Gametime. Download the app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And hey, Matt Dery here to tell you about our friends at Marg's, sparkling margaritas. As soon as the podcast is over, heading upstairs, gonna have some dinner with my wife, get set for the big showdown tonight, Guardians and Twins. Anyway, I love a good drink. Want something refreshing and cool? I go right out to my fridge that's in my garage, my spare fridge where I keep the alcoholic beverages, and I get myself a Marg's sparkling margarita. I've been pimping this for months. The sparkling coconut margarita it's awesome. It's chef's kiss. All right. Backyard barbecues. Who's going to be tailgating this weekend in Ann Arbor or East Lansing? Got to do it. If you're getting ready for that big exhibition game opener with Michigan and East Carolina, get yourself some Margs. They're fantastic. Nothing better than tailgating there on the golf course in Ann Arbor or there at Pioneer High School. It's a lot of fun, right? Go Blue, Margs, sparkling margaritas. Bring them to the tailgate. Go to SIP, Margs, MARGS.com to find a retailer nearest you. Must be 21 and over to enjoy. Cheers, and please drink responsibly. All right, so right now you got Nate Sudfeld with a torn ACL. Adrian Martinez is out, and Hendon Hooker's not going to play all year. All right, so if the Lions decide to go get a third quarterback, carry him on the roster, and have some insurance for Jared Goff with Teddy Bridgewater behind him, there are 2 players that can absolutely play and help this organization. One of them is Colt McCoy. Now, some of you are going to go, wait a minute. Colt McCoy was going to be the starter in Arizona this year until Kyler Murray came back from his injury. Well, the Cardinals today decided to nix Colt McCoy, save themselves some money. They'll probably look for a backup job somewhere. Why not Colt McCoy here in Detroit as the number 3 guy? He's very, very viable as number 3 and a veteran, good leader, and won't cost you that much. I would love to see the Lions put a flyer out there if they want a third quarterback with Colt McCoy. The other guy is Will Grier. I watched Will Grier a lot the other night for Dallas. He played the whole game. Then his post-game interview the other night where he was in tears talking about how he knew it was the end because the Cowboys, of course, have Cooper Rush from Central, and they just traded for Trey Lance, which I don't understand, to back up Dak Prescott. Will Grier is a serviceable number 3, 100%. And what a great kid. Did anybody watch this interview? Go on Twitter and go to Jim Nagy's Twitter page and watch Will Grier. Loves his teammates, was in tears, couldn't believe that he was so emotional about having to go from the Cowboys. But again, he knows it's a business. It's a business. I would pick up Will Grier in a heartbeat and make him the number 3 if the Lions want to go that direction. Now, again, Jared Goff is pretty tough and has been upright for 2 years now for the most part in Detroit and has played most of the games. Even when he was injured in Pittsburgh a couple of years ago and couldn't even use his right arm, he was still out there. Teddy Bridgewater is a fantastic backup. But if this team wants number 3, McCoy and Grier, I would look at right now. Why not? All right, we will have all of the cuts. We'll have the pickups. If there's Lions make any trades tomorrow, we will have it all for you on the Tuesday edition of Locked On Lions. Thanks for checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Thanks to our everydayers out there as well. And we are back again tomorrow with what the final 53-man roster looks like for your Detroit Lions.